Well, so we're going to go on to regular programming and look at other issues. We have to do a review of the newspapers. Mamavi say good morning to you. Mamavi, good morning.
Hello,
good morning. Good morning. What have you been up to? Just the usual.
Charlie, just the usual.
Yeah.
I think my
the stressful
sleep was even,
usual.
Yeah, and it's become like a normal.
Yeah.
I can't believe I slept like midnights. And
what were you doing?
Really I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I know, right?
But good morning. If you've just joined us, you missed the AM news, but that's why we're here. We will still get you up to speed with the newspapers and the online portals as well. This is the AM show. Just so you know, this is what is coming up on the show this morning. We're talking our agenda this morning, and it's interesting. Komanse and Abanze. They are twin villages, but apparently they are great rivals as well. Justice Beidou will bring us agenda from this particular twin towns. Just here's a little bit of what to expect in our agenda this morning.
So the name of this town has no positive impact on us. We don't show love to each other. We always have issues among ourselves.
Odoyefe does not mean you should forgive others when their animals destroy your crops. Even if you do forgive them, they will not compensate you. We are all farmers, and it would not be fair if someone destroys the other's farm.
Odoyefe literally means love is beautiful. A visit to this community will leave you with fond memories of the hospitality and serene environment. The name Odoyefe originated.
Okay, this is not the right agenda that we're bringing to you. This is another story, but we'll get into.
Well, definitely it's about names, towns, their rivalries, etc. And it's all part of the Ghana Month series too.
Exactly, yeah.
Because
but what we're playing to you today is the one that's been produced by Justice Beidou. That's what's going today. So we'll bring you up to speed on our Ghana Month series, the story behind Abanze Komanse.
Abanze Komanse.
Okay. All right. And then you remember yesterday, Roland reviewed the Ghanaian Times newspaper, and there was the bit about our population hitting close to 30 million. I think they put it at 29.
And so far, you and I have contributed 4. We're likely to contribute 5 because you're going to have one more, 2. I paid. Yeah, they're going to be twin.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
So you.
Whatever.
So between us, we'll contribute 5, 6. So you have 4.
This is
2.
what, an agreement?
No, I'm envisaging. The prophecies are big.
So now you become a prophet.
Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah. 29.6 million people official now. What is it?
We're growing. We're growing, but are we growing with everything else along the line?
No.
Yeah.
We're actually stifling the communities we have out. We're not planning the communities well, and it's a big problem.
Yeah. We're taking the conversation, you won't believe it, to a location where you'd find pregnant women, and on a day like this, you also find men, because there's a male clinic at the very location where we're going today. It will be interesting. Really? We'll have a conversation.
Is it a male fertility clinic?
No, it's not.
Just a normal.
It's a special clinic. Yeah, and on Tuesdays they've got the male clinic.
So they take care of our prostates and all that.
Exactly, on Tuesdays, and
we have.
And so there's a conversation for people who.
And all that,
But that's what is interesting is that is not the conversation. We're talking population, and we're linking it to contraceptives and
I also make up prostate. I'm not going to prostate issues.
It's also a very interesting conversation that we must have. We've had it on the show. We will sometime.
Once we're all growing.
So that's all will be coming up, and of course we're talking the goldfields matters arising out of this
the demonstration
goldfields situation. Exactly, yesterday's demonstration, but the union actually petitioned Parliament sometime back before they tried to battle it out in the courts.
Okay.
What is interesting, the vice chairperson of the Mines and Energy Committee is also the member of Parliament for the area. So he will join us in the studio. We're just going to do a little follow-up on that appearance before Parliament and the instability in that constituency as well. So we have great conversations coming up. Just send us a message on anything you either hear or what you want us to pay attention to. If you've got anything on your chest that you want to bring out, please do. Just keep it short, clean, and then we will share it.
Devoid of the politics. Yeah.
Yeah.
The population, there shouldn't be
politics.
Let's
do the newspapers now, Roland.
Okay, so we have to start. Unfortunately, I don't have.
No,
the
let's
Ghanaian
start
Times.
with the Daily Graphic newspaper.
I don't have the Ghanaian Times.
That's fine. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page
I do have.
of the Graphic this morning. Ringleader of Royal Motors robbery arrested, and the police, they've pretty much been on the ground doing a lot of hard work because they've made a number of arrests, and they say they've gotten hold of Al-Hassan Ilyasu, and he is apparently the ringleader, parts of, in fact, he led the gang that staged that Hollywood style, that Rambo style robbery at the Royal Motors at the industrial area not too long ago. Also, Atamil's library closed down for lack of funds. Not shocking, not shocking. Immigration repatriates Indian businessman. Workers demand his return. That was extensively covered with Maxwell Agbagba speaking to the man's wife and then the workers as well. That is on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. That's the banner headline. Also, NCA threatens to terminate Kasapa license. Let's see on page 16 a bit about the arrests of this ringleader, this guy who's been terrorizing people. On page 16 it says, barely 48 hours after the arrest of a key member of the robbery gang that attacked Royal Motors Limited in Accra and killed the Lebanese cashier in Tema, the suspected ringleader of the two robberies has been arrested. Al-Hassan Ilyasu, alias Arab Man, 36, was arrested by the Accra Regional Police Command intelligence team at Ashiaman, Roman Down, about 8:30 p.m. last Sunday, March 11. So he's popularly referred to as Arab Man. He's said to be the supplier of weapons to members of the gang he leads. You can read the rest of the story. Is inside the Daily Graphic newspaper. Pay compensation for destroyed tipper trucks. Excavator minority in Parliament is making that call on government to pay compensation to the owners of the 14 tipper trucks and excavator which were set ablaze by some personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces during an operation at Afaili in the Kumbungu districts in the northern region on Saturday, March 3, 2018. The rest of that story is also in the paper. And then let's check out the center spread. There's the feature, Kalakpa Game Reserve on verge of extinction. That's in the center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's see, where's this reserve? It's situated in Abutia in Ho, West District at Daklu, about 30 kilometers south of Ho in the Volta region, and it covers about 32,020 hectares covered with the Guinean savanna grassland. Okay, so you can read all about it. I have never heard about this. The first time I'm reading about a place like this in the Adaklu West Districts. Is the Kalakpa Game Reserve. If you've been there before, please. Have you been there before?
No, I have not.
Never heard about it.
It's in the Adaklu.
Yeah.
Anybe district or Adaklu district?
Adaklu, yes.
Adaklu
West Districts.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, but we're all guilty. We don't explore.
Yeah. They have a lot of tourist attractions in the Volta. The last time I went to the monkey sanctuary at Taviepe or something. Taffy, yeah. Yeah, it was great.
Okay, haven't
I
been
didn't know
there.
they had a lot of monkeys there.
There.
And I saw a lot of white people. And you know, they always go to our tourist
I think
centers.
they explore our country better than we do.
And the road was good too, contrary to the other ones in which the reports are always negative about the roads. This one, they had good roads.
Yeah.
But we don't have the traffic going there except the white people, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's a shame.
Yes,
I mean, I come from the Volta region, but I know very little about.
You know play waterfalls? Have you been to?
I know about it, but I haven't been there.
Have you been to Mount Gimme? You don't. Okay, Amejope, you haven't been there.
No.
Yeah, I've been to.
I think the closest is the Shire Hills.
Okay, the game reserve,
yeah. Exactly. That's,
that one, I'm not sure you've even entered. Have you entered?
Oh, of course. I climbed. I went to the very top.
Okay, you went with Nuna and the rest.
No, I didn't. This was a school trip.
Oh, I think when you were younger.
Yeah, when I was much younger, yes. Yeah. One of the...
Now you look a bit old. So.
Whatever. Let's do the back page of the Daily Graphic. I'll keep the rest to myself.
Let's do the back page.
Government to ban shisha this year. It's more harmful than cigarettes.
Have you smoked it before?
Nope.
Okay.
Condemned prisoners plead for clemency. That's also another story on the back page of prisoners on death row at the Nsawe medium security prison, uncertain about their fate and having languished in jail for years, have pleaded with the presidency for clemency. You remember, Seth Kwame Boateng also bringing us a very extensive report about their conditions and how they actually don't know when they're going to be killed, and anytime, because that's a condemned prison. So anytime somebody, which doesn't happen often, somebody enters the place, the people are like, is this the day that I'm going to die? Yeah, we don't want anybody feeling like that. So there's this story on the back page, story by Sebastian Siam in Nsawam, also saying about 150 condemned prisoners have already served in solitary confinement between 10 and 20 years. So we see how the presidency responds to this plea that the prisoners are making. That will be it for the Daily Graphic newspaper.
All right, so let's just drift into the Daily Times, the Ghanaian Times, as it is. I wanted to see whether I have a reaction. So if I haven't had a reaction from Mamavi, so it means I'm good to go. Ghanaian Times, it's not Daily Times. Ghanaian Times. That's what has on the front page.
You can come up with your own paper and do it Daily Times. That's fine. Until then, this is the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
Thank you. Thank you, my producer. 700,000 suffer from glaucoma. This is as serious as it can be. 60,000 already blind. You have the Minister of Health, Kwekwanjima Menu, in there. And the story basically just reads, if you go to page 16 of the paper, that we're having 700,000 Ghanaians having glaucoma, and it's released by the Glaucoma Association of Ghana. The report said the infected have primary open angle glaucoma, which is the severe type of the disease, apparently. About 250,000 out of the figure were also not aware that they had contracted the disease, while 60,000 were already blind at the time of the diagnosis. And the severe form of the disease is common type of glaucoma, which comes on slowly and painless. Glaucoma is a group of eye disorder, or is a group of eye disorders that have few symptoms in the early stages, but eventually they lead to the damage of the optic nerve, resulting in vision loss or total blindness. And we had Dr. Asiwome Kwesi Seniaja, consultant vitreoretinal surgeon, Dr. Agawald's Eye Hospital, disclosing this when the facility organized a free eye screening. They're just around here. We'll try and bring them in to see if they can give us some eye opener on this all-important subject. They're just around the road for us. So
yeah,
Dr. Agawald.
Close to Sano.
Yes.
Right after the police station.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's good that the Ghanaian Times is reminding us. Let's also go to the front page. Shun mediocrity, support government build strong economy. The Vice President again on page 16, encouraging all and sundry to help, and especially when he was meeting the heads of ministries, departments and agencies. We're talking to chief directors. He says, look, help government meet its objectives. 7 Goldfield workers arrested, 4 injured after demonstration. That story brought you comprehensively this morning. We'll recount that as well. We spoke to the Vice President and is a stakeholder relations manager speaking to us.
With Goldfields, with Benisabo Bedu. And we've got George Miracle Duka, who's member of Takwan Swam constituency, also vice chairperson of the Mines Energy Committee in Parliament, also joining us later this morning for an update. So
it's a great conversation we would want to have. And are we opening the phone lines within that period? For
yeah, definitely. I mean,
man jailed 18 years for robbery in Accra.
18. 18.
18.
What did he steal?
Story on page 15 says that The manager of a sachet water producing company in Accra, has been convicted and sentenced to 18 years imprisonment in hard labor by an Accra Circuit Court for robbery. The convict, Edward Terrier, together with an accomplice, robbed an estate developer, his wife, and their 14-year-old son at gunpoint at Wetlands.
Oh.
Westlands. Where's Westlands?
It's West Legon.
Where you used to live? That or close to that?
Yeah.
Okay, in the Greater Accra region on March 28th. And they took items and valuables and others worth 19,350 Ghana cedis. The convict was, however, arrested when he jumped through a window from the first floor of the story building and hurt his legs, rendering him immobile.
Oh.
But his accomplice managed to escape.
Nice. I think even the 18 is too small for the kind of daring move that he made.
Well,
18 years.
Okay,
well, 18 years is okay.
The prisons
18 is it in hard labor?
Sure. The prisons are supposed to reform. Only if
well,
it
but
gets
unfortunately,
reformed.
but I think we're all a bit twisted, or Roland. Look at me excited that he's been given 18 years.
Yeah.
But I haven't thought about what he's going to do within that 18 years in prison. And it's a good point that you made. He's supposed to go and reform. But we know that the conditions in our prisons, nowhere close.
Because if he's a manager of such a water producing company, it means that he can have some good value for society. So
well, we all do, but we also have bad sides. Yeah. So if you get the judgment wrong and you decide that because you lack something, you're just going to rob others,
then that's a problem.
Yeah, then that's a big problem.
But I only okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Let's move.
It really doesn't matter who you are.
It's just that
you
we can take a cue from
top management, but once you decide to descend and go and do something like that, the law doesn't recognize your managerial position, whatever you are.
A thief is a thief.
A thief is a thief, definitely. Right. Let's do the Finder newspaper next. Front page of the Finder. Cashew export raking $981 million. That is a lot of money, as Ghana tops the world in 2016 in export of cashew in Shell. So Gifty Klanam, who is the chief executive of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, is smiling there alongside with a headline from page of the Finder newspaper. Ghana's Esla Bond wins Global Award. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire to better the loss of cocoa farmers, and 7 Goldfields workers arrested after protest turns bloody. We're discussing this issue later this morning with all the angles on our show. With
the Member of Parliament for Tapa in Swahili.
That's an angle that's pretty new, because that's his constituency. He's better at knowing exactly what's happening on the ground. We can hear from the company, we can hear from the union.
Yes.
You can say that they both have interest, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, but that's the Member of Parliament. He's supposed to be father for all, if you like. And he also comes from a committee
that is really in charge of the sector.
Exactly. A committee that was also petitioned by the workers of Goldfields, yes. All because, the conditions of service is going to change. They're going to be on contracts, and they're saying that an estimated number of people are going to be out of.
It's surprising though, knowing this has been ongoing for the last couple of months.
Yes, been going on for a while. A lot of denial, a lot of trying to. But I'm a bit surprised that Goldfields hasn't been able to deal with this, because definitely not the first company to be in a process like this, either redundancy or changing the conditions, the terms of conditions for its workers. But the way it's happened and where we've gotten to, especially with what happened yesterday, with the blockade, the demonstration, and the police, and the arrests and everything else, I feel that this hasn't been handled well. I don't know. I feel they could have done a better job at this.
Better. I agree too.
All right, let's do the Daily Guide, right?
Okay, so let's do the Daily Guide. Has on the front page, top NDC man grabs $6 million bribe The story is on page 3 of the paper. It says information reaching the Daily Guide indicates that a chieftain of the deposed NDC government will soon be put before court over $6 million bribe he allegedly received while serving in government. The top NDC figure, who was a chief executive of a cash-soaked state agency, is said to have received a $6 million bribe for an award of a contract to supply some products to a company, but it later turned out that the products were unwholesome with damning effects on the users. And the NDC top-notch individual was awarded a multi-million-dollar contract for the supply of special products to farmers and ended up crimming off the said $6 million. The money was said to have been traced to his personal account. According to sources, the former chief executive is also involved in other alleged shady deals with the wife of a top official of the immediate past NDC administration.
Allegations.
He's likely to be hauled before court for multiple charges. This one, no name, so I'm reading it. Is likely to be hauled before court. It's almost like a story with, just like a ghost story, you know, sometimes, yeah.
So why don't you wait in the coming days when they decide to put a lot more flesh in terms of names?
It's like,
because right now we don't know.
In the coming days, when I'm mentioning it, I won't read it anyway. He's likely to be hauled before court for multiple charges, including fraud and causing financial losses.
You've really said nothing.
Yeah, I know, right?
You've read a lot.
But
you've said nothing.
That's the state of journalism in Ghana for you. But let's move on.
You can do speculative, and if you have your sources right, you can. Yes.
In tabloids across the world, you can do speculate, but it's only that when you're hauled before the court, you just have to prove. Anyway, so we have 40,000 houses for security services coming. This one was built by the John Mahama-led administration. And yesterday, Felix Kwachiofosu was on Facebook saying that after government dragging a feet, he has no option than to inaugurate this. But basically, this is what it is. And I'm just about reading it. But it says government is poised to construct, 40,000 well-planned housing units for personnel of the security services in the country. And according to Dr. Baumia, the housing units are to improve. We already have one that will be inaugurated very soon as well. So
I remember asking a deputy minister of housing, I think it's Western Housing, but she's in charge of housing. What has happened to projects that were started by the Mahama administration? Because you hear a lot about what Kufuor started and how they're going to finish. And I think what she said was, they haven't quite gotten the details right. There are some deals that they don't still understand. So they are trying to,
if you ask me, for example, the housing projects that were started by the Kufuor administration were not completed. We had one around Asakori Mampong, one just close on my road. Each day I see it, I get sad. It's around Boteman, they call it. For 8 years during the NDC administration, nothing was done to
the new projects were started.
And then now we have an MPP in. You know, there are one also just after the barrier, after Pram, etc. Dowenya Mucho. The Brazilian, that housing project there, Saglemi housing project, it's also there. You could see that it's lying fallow.
Who started that?
Mahama, John Mahama.
Okay.
If nothing is done, it's going to suffer
they are not clear exactly with some of the deals. Well, like some of the agreement, they can't even trace the beginning or the end.
I'm saying that you may not be clear, but the thing is that the taxpayers' money is involved. We can put those projects into good use while we'll try to clarify with the deals, etc. Because we've had experiences in which we've had at the Institute of Local Government, Hyundai vehicles that were imported, never used. We paid judgment debts on them. And we still haven't decided not to use them.
True. A lot of collaborations were done with some private developers. And apparently some of the deals were really shady and overblown, so I hear. But whatever it is, I agree with you. We can't keep those structures so rotten.
It's sad knowing that people need housing and they can't have them. Let me just run through the rest of the stories. Kennedy, Japan mad over NACOP sniffer dogs, and Free Abuga Pele demonstration hits Paga. And yesterday we brought you that as well.
What, they sniffed him?
Basically, it's I don't know whether it's a full from yes. It's a firebrand member of Parliament for Asing Central, Kennedy Ohinie, Japan, warns officials of NACOP to be sacked by the government. He alleged that NACOP officials at the Kotoka International Airport are being controlled by elements that have sinister motives against the NPP government, and as a result, they must pay the price. Another bogus institution he's been quoted in this country is NACOP. And he goes on and on.
Okay, all right.
We're told that he was on his radio station on an affair.
There's a story, Roland. You're going to the center spread, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
So
waits for it.
I'm going to the center spread. So let me give you the center spread stories about Casa Prek, who also distributed toy in South Africa. That's a good one, knowing that we have great relations with them. Anyway, we'll go in for some drinks when we have to. Nana Danko Kufado's wife, Rebecca Kufado, celebrated her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
And her pictures were just great. Really first lady-like. Congrats. And she's beautiful, by the way. But the story we want to discuss, my life is in danger. So I don't know whose life is in danger, whether it's Stoneboy or Bulldog. Well, Bulldog is Bulldog, man.
Who did he speak to?
It says artist manager and CEO of Bull House Entertainment, Lawrence Nanesiama, known to all of us as Bulldog, says his life is in danger. The man who now works at Xylophone Media alleged that one Chief Abiola had called him on the phone and threatened to kill him. It is suspected that the call might have had something to do with Bulldog's alleged altercation with Stoneboy on Saturday night at Paloma, where Stoneboy was performing. Confusion broke out, we're told, according to the report, and gunshots allegedly fired during the confrontation. And the reports go on and on.
Yeah.
And meanwhile,
another twist.
Meanwhile, the CEO of Xylophone Media, Nana Apia Mensa, he's called NAM1. Okay.
Laid some people off.
Has called for a truce between the camps while the issues are being sorted out. And yesterday, if you listen to Xylophone, if you look at the information, what he said was, well, there's still a chance for amicable resolution.
Oh,
but I don't know where.
I think we should just move on.
Yeah.
Move on where we've gotten to. The Business and Financial Times, front page of the Business, that's the last newspaper. Business and Financial Times, Energy Commercial Bank could go public in May to seek almost 400 million Ghana cedis. Cedi on song thanks to Big Brother IMF, according to analysts. Consumers' confidence in economy source latest Nielsen Consumer Index reviews, and then bank customers to have verification numbers. You can read all about these stories in the Business and Financial Times newspaper. Let's do a few of your messages and then we'll quickly dash online. But I think in the Daily Dispatch, Roland, there's because we did the story yesterday, we talked about it, and then we finally spoke to Dan Kanamoa, but somebody is disputing everything that he's been saying.
Boss kept saying that.
Yeah. Amofa Eric in Cape Coast says, God richly bless NIIT for such a support. We, the teachers in Abra, Asebu, Kwamankesi district, are also waiting for hours.
NIIT.
Oliver Twists. But that's fine. This person says, oh, this is your show, really. We thank you for always watching. On the Indian man, he should be brought back to help the youth. That's Handsome Monkey in Yenahin. That's your name. Can you send me a picture of your handsome face? Something like that. This also says, good morning. Just want to say well done for the wonderful work. Well, thank you. And you're wishing Mrs. Rebecca Ekufo-Addo, I guess, happy birthday, though the birthday was yesterday. Estelo in Ho sending us this message. This one also says, in fact, the state of armed robbery across the country is becoming too much. Why so? Why now? What is our religious leaders doing? Ghana has lost his moral values. We're fine. A lasting solution to the state in terms of armed robbery in Ghana. That's from Zion. We'll read more of your messages, but let's do myjoyonline.com, Roland.
So let's go to myjoyonline.com. We have Kibi School for the deaf, laments unpaid government subvention. We also have That's My Opinion, the media, and the Magpie syndrome. Okay, next. ECG awards Guinness Ghana for timely settlement of power bills. Why they were about cutting off?
ECG, Somebody's paying their bills. I mean, what's
I buy my credits promptly.
Yeah, like,
I don't even wait to use the top up.
What's
so I'm wondering why I haven't been recorded.
Like
I've been rewarded with a new shoe, for example, that Benedict is wearing.
If you pay your bill promptly to ECG, must congratulate you.
Yeah.
Oh, electricity company.
So let's move on and say NIT supports ICT teacher who drew computer interface. Are we going to play the story again to see what happened?
No, but this was in the news.
Okay.
You know what happened.
Yeah. Jessica and DC.
If you want to do the Abra Asebu Kwama and Kesi, they also want some support.
Anyway. Jessica and DC driver trade slaps over use of assembly vehicle. And you know what happened in this one? There was a DC. He slapped his driver. And I heard there was no whisker of minutes spent waiting. No.
And you can better narrate this. What happened? He sent his driver to do what?
Slap him back.
Roland, finish the thing, lah. What was the driver supposed to do? Why is nobody talking about it? It was somebody else.
It's a silent deal. Well, let's move on. Monday briefing, clashes at Goldfield Sakwa Mines, boss in another shady deal. It's a question we all kept asking yesterday, and they had some reply. I don't know. This man, I've always wanted to interview him. Just asking some nice questions. Adjoa Safo to answer for 28.8 million Maslock, Ghana City Maslock Sole Source contract, and the MP for Sharman and Esnogbe brought this to the attention of the public. Now, you know, sometimes when you're in opposition, you notice things well.
I can see clearly now.
No rain. And then when you're in government, you gloss over things that you kept raising while you're in opposition. That's the nature of our politics. It helps.
We've got to quickly run the full story on the Indian businessman who was deported. Now he's been deported twice in less than a year.
Okay, so he's gone to India and back?
And then he's gone again. But the Rambo style, you know, the way the wife narrates how it happened. I don't know if that's right. It's illogical, baseless, boss slams Kope claims. So a lot more stories on myjoyonline.com. Quickly, we can just look at what's on the BBC. We make way for Benedict, who's got entertainment. But here's a message from Tanko Abubakar Shukura on the projects that's been abandoned, you know, left and forgotten, if you like. It says the project left behind by the previous administration should be known to Ghanaians so that we can judge the government's efforts. That's from Tanko sending us that WhatsApp message. On the BBC, Roland?
Shock at massive Nigeria senator payout. And it says a politician reveals he and his senator colleagues are paid $37,000 a month each just for expenses.
Is it 37 or there's something else in the middle of the 37?
It's $37,500. Charlie, can we click the story?
We don't have time for that.
Okay, we don't have time for it.
We don't have time for that, exactly.
No details. But so just get onto those platforms and try to get the rest.
Okay, so we will have to take a breather from here. Benedict will come up with sports, after which we'll bring you our agenda for today. Then we'll settle down and have that conversation about this new numbers that we're hearing, that we're hitting 30 million now. That's very scary. Consider all the resources that we have and consider the numbers, and you'd realize that it's not growing on the same level. We're speaking to people who are players within this circle, but we're also talking to ourselves and real people, especially those who carry the pregnancies. Are they worried about the numbers and the children that they're bringing forth into this world? We're talking Goldfields as well here on the show this morning, so stay with us. We're covered on all sides. Benedict is up next with sports.